Hello everybody and welcome back. So I thought it's better to do an example to illustrate what I was talking about for not engaging the combustion model. And I have a basic setup here. I'm going to make sure I don't have any of these on. And I have a sphere emitting a temperature at the moment. I'm going to set this to add and let's hit play, see what we get. So we have smoke rising. Okay, and we also have temperature that we could visualize. Okay, so that's our temperature field, and you can see it's causing the smoke to rise up. And this is what I wanted to add. When the smoke comes in, when the density field gets injected, I wanted to introduce some temperature so that the smoke just have something to move with and introduce more turbulence to the system. The other thing that I do quite a bit or a lot is when I have something that doesn't have temperature, it's not an explosion. Basically, it's, let's say, a smoke trail or an airplane got hit and it's falling down. Anything that needs anything that needs a smoke but doesn't have temperature, I still use temperature. And what I do is I use high cooling rate. And what this gonna allow me is it's gonna give me a mask that I can disturb, because I'm not looking at this data. Okay, I'm not planning on rendering it. I can use this temperature to be the driver for, or the mask for, various nodes. So let's say I'm gonna use shredding. I'm gonna set this to 20 and I'm gonna say I want to shred the temperature because it's not visible. I don't see it. Okay, I'm not changing it. I'm changing it, but it's not going to be visible. So whatever happens to it, I don't care, as long as it gives me back the movements I need. So I'm going to say I want to shred the temperature field, and the range is from here to here, from 0, 1 to 1, and it's shred value of 20. So if I hit play, it's going to change the sim, but this is a lot, so let's set it to 5. And if we don't visualize this, temperature, then we're gonna get a very natural smoke movements that looks as if it's coming in from within the sim rather than a force being applied to it. Because what happens when we use these turbulence, and pretty much every microsolver that comes with Houdini, we're changing the velocity field right away, and that's not good because we're gonna get weird patterns and it's gonna look uniform. This way, we're changing the value of the temperature, which makes the system behave in an interesting way. So this is how I approach this. And because the temperature is not visible, I use, and it's decaying over time. So if this value is 1, for example, after a couple of frames, it's going to be 0. So the noise is not going to be there anymore. And this is what will make the system behave in an interesting way, and it's going to give it natural movements. And you can see this. You can see this everywhere, pretty much, in the sim. When maybe this is an old version. Yeah, this is an older version. But basically in all the sims, you will feel that the patterns are moving in an interesting way rather than, forcing the density to behave in a weird manner. So it feels much more natural. Okay, so that's what I do. And then the other trick about the divergence. So right now we're not getting any expansion. Let me increase the memory here. So we're not getting any expansion, and for that we need to turn on the flame. So I don't want to use this. You can explore that, but for the smoke that I needed, I didn't have to go through that route. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say I want to inject a copy of my density field or temperature field, whatever you decided to do, into the divergence. I'm gonna say a 0.1 value. So every frame we're injecting into the divergence field. So if a debris, for example, is moving, and sourcing smoke, at the sourcing time, we're copying that density field from the source into the divergence, which will cause it to expand just during that emission time, which is what I need, because if we just stick to the density itself, it's not going to give us enough material, enough smoke to work with. And you can see by changing this to 1, we're really seeing more smoke coming off of this. So this is the trick that we're going to employ, and we're going to see that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.